Good morning, everybody. I've hidden stuff, clearly, in the warehouse, and Jane doesn't know where it is. How are you all? I have managed to surpass myself this morning by shouting and growling at a complete stranger down the phone, thinking it was Gemma and thinking I was being hilarious. Yeah, turns out it wasn't. I didn't have my glasses on. Yeah, I don't know who it was because I hung up too embarrassed to continue that phone call. So if that was you trying to get hold of me this morning and I growled at you, I'm really sorry. It's just been one of those mornings. Normally, the only people that ring me in the morning are Gemma or the school saying it's not an offset day, could you actually send your children in? They're the only two people that ever really ring me in the mornings. So, yeah. No, SJ, to the, no. That's okay. SJ just asked me some technical questions because today we have got 2 3 for 2 offers on. You can't use them together. They have to be used either for the wax or for the art gallery fabrics. So you can't have like 2 waxes and 1 art gallery fabrics. You have to have 3 art gallery fabrics or 3 waxes. Or 3 waxes and 3 art gallery fabrics, and then the 3 for 2 kicks in. Yes, so 3 for 2 on waxes, 3 for 2 on art gallery fabrics, all of these art gallery fabrics. And those waxes, we have added lots and lots and lots of waxes. Now today's make has got 3 pockets because you regularly say, can we add a pocket to that? So right, I'm just going to do you a make that's basically all pocket, and then there can be no complaint. Well, I mean, you might complain, but there won't be any complaining about that. And look at this, it's got a flat fell seam. I'm very proud of myself because it's not often that I get the option to do a little flat fell seam. Let me show you. Look at that. Whew. And so look, this bag is not, when I woke up this morning, I went, oh crikey, I still haven't designed today's show. And I had in my head what I wanted. I did know what I wanted, but it ended up not being this. It wasn't this, but it is now. So you've got a big button, and just use up one of your kids' hairbands, and then you've got handmade tag at the back. Can I just say, please wash your denim first if you're using denim, because otherwise it's like when you put on a new pair of jeans and then you take them off and you've got blue legs and you think, am I having a heart attack or something, and you realise, no, I've just got new jeans on. Please, please, please. I didn't, and so you can see the dye is already starting to come off. Please pre-wash your denim first. But you've got your lovely handmade tag there, which is hiding the hairband elastic there. And then if we open up, we have got 1, 2, 3 pockets. The entire size of the bag. I think I've gone above and beyond on the pocket front here. I really do. So for me, I carry lots of books, samples, stuff like that. This is going to be something I can compartmentalise, and I will be very happy with that. So you've got your button on one side, you've got your gorgeous handmade tag on the back. You only need a 2.5 inch strip of fabric, but we've got some beautiful ones on the show today. The whole ethos of today was that you can do today's make with either denim or with wax. It doesn't matter which, and it was all going to be lined because the art gallery fabrics go so beautifully with the wax and actually with all the denims, and it was going to be lined in an art gallery fabric. That was how today's bag was going to go. And then I flat fell seamed the entire length of my denim. I went, hang on a minute, I could just fold this. And then I've got a lot of pockets. And then Jane encouraged me, and that was the end of that. And then she made me bind stuff. So, but I feel like I've got over my fear of binding this morning, which is really quite nice. Also, having watched her do her binding workshop on Monday with the Quilting with Jane members. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We loaded last night, Gemma and I, loads of new waxes. Because Gemma went to me, why have you put on a 3 for 2 on waxes when we don't have any loaded? Well, yeah, we do. So no, we don't, Tash. Do now. Ha ha! A lot of them have been taken down because we knew we were going towards the end and we didn't know exactly how much we had left. So I had the lovely job last night, which is why my make wasn't made last night, it was made this morning, of pre-cutting everything into metre lengths. Not quite everything, but nearly everything. So this is your antique Bonneville 6. This is granite grey. So the 6 means it's a 6 ounce. So it's got a nice bit of substance to it. It's not too heavy. It's going to make a medium weight bag. Lovely. All of your wash bags. So things like this. This is your cloud. This is also a 6 ounce, I think. And we've got this as well by the ½ metre. The cloud I haven't cut into ½ meters, into metre pieces rather. This is the one that I used for my make yesterday. Look, I ended up putting little silver bits on so that I can have that as a bag because I rather love it. So that is the cloud wax. Now, this is called Antique Bonneville, not because of the colour. I do have a coloured antique, but I know this one. When it's got a colour and it says antique, it's because, I don't know if you can see, it's got like little hexagon patterns on it. And so that's what it refers to. That's the antique patterning on it. But that is your Antique Bonneville, and that is in granite grey. There you go. Now, I have got, this is your blue pewter. This is my absolute favourite. We don't have very many blues. It's a bluey grey, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It goes beautifully with cork. Absolutely beautifully. So if you want blue pewter, then here it is. Isn't that just stunning? Isn't that just gorgeous? I love it with the contrast of that. I would be if I wasn't making it out of denim, I would be making it out of this one today. Again, it's another 6 ounce. 6 ounce is really, really, really useful. And you can see, I mean, this is 2 layers of it, and it keeps its integrity really beautifully. Okay, next up we have got a mahogany drill. It's got some, there must have been some glitter on the table, so I do apologise. There's a bit of glitter going through all of this. I don't know why. I've only got like 3 of these. This is your mahogany drill. The drill is lovely. Again, these are, so this is a this doesn't have a waxy feel, but it is waterproof, water resistant once you've sewn your seam. So yeah, this is lovely. So this just feels like a cloth. It doesn't feel waxy, but again, it does have that water repellent nature to it. If you are new to all of these, welcome, hi. These are all end of line as the guys that were making the fabrics for Barbour retired. So these would be the fabrics that would have gone to Barbour and made all of your Barbour coats, accessories, everything else. They should be about £45 a metre. They are 15. Okay, so, and they're on a 3 for 2, so even better. When they are gone, they are gone. We have had people start to miss out. I started off with 53 metres of the camo khaki Ranger twill. Again, I love this one. I've made so many different bags with this. It's 4, so it's lightweight. It doesn't feel waxy, but again, it does have that water resistance. These do mark and start to look antique and worn. I love that look. I did have someone email and say, oh, I don't like the fact that it does that. It does that. So if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's really, really simple. If you don't like the fact that it does it. I find it makes it really, really easy to work with because you don't have to use pens to mark it. You can just fold it and do it. If you want to get rid on the waxes of it, you can go over with a piece of parchment paper, especially when you've just made something. You can put a piece of parchment paper in a warm iron and that will just melt the wax back into it. But I personally really, really like the look. You can see like this one is starting to get a little bit worn, and I just really like that look. But it's not for everyone, in which case buy the denim. Absolutely no problem at all. I have got, or if you want water repellent but you don't want wax, this is a premium technical polycotton, and this is navy. It's very navy. I've got other navies that are less obviously navy. Navy is such a variety, isn't it? This is absolutely great. Gemma's got some for for dog coats. It was so funny. I did notice, by the way, Gemma, last night when we were on the phone and you were saying to your husband, I've got a few waxes to pick up from Tasha's. And you gave him the whole spiel on how much you were saving. Love it. Absolutely love it. But when they're gone, they're gone. I can't ever repeat these deals. I can't get them back. So if you know that in the future you're going to be making dog beds, dog coats, anything like that, just get them now. Just get them now when you see them, because they're not going to be back in again. This is also lovely for bags, by the way, and stuff like that. I have got about 2, possibly 3 of these. This is your light tan Ranger drill. This is a heavier weight one. I think this is an 8 ounce. This makes my waxed tote beautifully. It's such a lovely heavyweight fabric where there's no need for interfacing or anything else, and it's really going to hold its weight. Like I say, it's an 8 ounce, so that 2 ounces gives it a lot more body and structure. Again, water repellent. These, if they're not waxy on the outside, so basically anything other than the Bonvilles you can wash, which is amazing to me. Like even the wax ones, as long as it's not the Bonville, you can wash them. This is a Bonville. I have got 9 1 meter pieces of the leaf green left. This is a 4 ounce. I made my sort of, we weren't sure if it was a cape or a wrap or what it was, but I made mine out of this. It's very, very lightweight, but lovely to work with, very easy. Gemma wants to make a canopy for her caravan with that, because it's nice and lightweight. It will roll up really small. So if you're making bags for the supermarket, because you can wipe the Bonville wax clean, no problem at all. You can give it a spray and a wipe. So if you want to make any of those, this would work for those little bags that we made, the reusable shopping bags. They would work an absolute treat out of that. Bonville 4 dark chocolate. I've only got a handful of this. It's such a rich colour. That's 1 meter of the dark chocolate. This is your chestnut Bonville 6. I don't think we've ever had this available. We've had it in kits before now. We've not had it available to purchase by itself. Oh, did I cut this? No. Did I? Yes, I did cut this one, I think. I think. This is dark navy. Under the screen, it does look black. But if you can just see at the edges, you can see it is actually navy. But it is a dark navy. It gets lighter the more it's used. This is a Bonville, so it is a wax finish, but that's going to lighten the more the wax cracks on that. And I've got 1 meter pre-cuts of those. Again, great for dog beds, dog coats, your own bags, anything like that. Gemma was thrilled because she didn't think we had any navy left. This is your granite grey. This is your Bonville 8 ounces. So again, like the Ranger drill, it's a heavyweight one. In fact, what have I got? I made one of the bags yesterday out of it. I think it might still be in the light box. Yeah, this is absolutely great. So this would be sturdier even than this for yesterday's make. Brilliant for your bags. You could make today's make so beautifully out of that. It would be absolutely stunning. Now these are on the roll, so these can be cut. So I know one of you has bought several meters for making coats and things like that. That's absolutely fine. These will be cut in a continuous length for you. So if you are dressmaking, these are the ones, coat making, whatever. These are the ones to go for. The antique colour. So we had the antique earlier, which had the pattern on it, which is what they call antique. But this is actually antique coloured. And that's your Bonville 6. So a 6 ounce. Same with the olive green. Again, another Bonville. The Bonvilles have a wax feel to them, and these are the ones that can be wiped but not washed, not put through the washing machine. I think nobody really ever expected to be able to put the wax through the washing machine, but some of them you can if it's not a Bonville. So this is your olive green, absolutely gorgeous, and these are your, and this is your antique. I think these are very traditional wax colours. Really traditional wax colours, but again they will be cut on the continuous. If you wanted multiples, say you wanted 3 meters of that, say for a coat or something, oh thank you Jane, then that would be the one. There are a couple more. Have a look through the website. I think this is enough to get you going, isn't it? This is the granite grey in the 8 ounce, so you can see the difference. This is, can you see, like this is more bendy and this is more structured. So if you wanted to make yesterday's bag and have it as a handbag, actually I should probably have put them, be better off to have put that on there and have had that. But a wash bag, things like that, absolutely perfect. So just take a look, really. They're all there. They are all there. And also last night, I have to say a big thank you to Josh, because last night he pressed, well actually yesterday afternoon, he pressed go on the Cork Makes subscription. So if you are a Natasha McCarty Designs subscriber, you now have access to the Cork Makes subscription. Keep an eye on it, because we've got lots and lots and lots of things that we will be keeping on adding to that. Right, let's now have a look. These are your art gallery fabrics. These are your 3 for 2 while stocks lasts on your art gallery fabrics. We have, I might bring some of these back actually, just so that you can see what goes with what. The pewter, I would put with these two. I just absolutely love it. So that's your pewter, I would put it with that. Trying to make room for it. I love this one. What would I have put this one with? I would put this one with the chestnut. Absolutely beautiful. If you click on natashamakes.com and then you go on Workshop Wednesday, shop everything, just click on shop all, these will all come up. But for me, the chestnut and the Bonville, I think these were a perfect pairing before, but we sold out. That works an absolute treat. I'll tell you what else it looks nice with, and that's the antique colour as well. I'll do a little bit of personal shopping for you. The mahogany drill also looks lovely if you don't want something waxy. Then away you go. Okay, what else have we got? And of course all of these look beautiful with the denim, which was the starter for today's show. This one looks absolutely stunning with the light tan, and also very lovely with the pewter. In fact, it's also going to look very nice with the leaf green. Look at that. Ah, they're all rather gorgeous. Oh, we've got that denim, blue as well. Yeah, the polycotton navy, that technical one, that's rather beautiful too. This one, I demoed with this one. My sample is made out of this one. I would put that with the navy polycotton. I would put that with the pewter. I would also put it with the chestnut as well. Very lovely. And also with the antique, it's looking rather lovely. So these are your options for today. Go ahead and have a look. Like I say, the 3 for 2 is available on the art gallery fabrics as a section, and on the waxes as a separate section. You can't mix and match AGF fabrics and the waxes. This pewter, yes, absolutely. Leaf green, yes. The polycotton, absolutely. The dark navy, beautiful. And then if you wanted a deep green, then that's your olive there going with it. So lots of ways to play with this one. I love this one. And of course with the denim, it just looks stunning. Absolutely stunning. This one, absolutely love, 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 love. Pewter, obviously. Loving that. I would put this probably with the antique. Very lovely with the antique. With the dark navy. And with the polycotton navy. But it also looks very, very nice with the greys as well. So this is a really, really versatile one. I just adore it. I've got 2 units left of the Bella Firenze. What wouldn't you put with it? All of your blues. Also your antique. Just going to pick out those colours in there. And your chestnut, also going to look gorgeous, as will your mahogany drill. Just beautiful. And of course your denim today, which was kind of where we started with it all. But I've only got 2 units of that left. I love this. Now we had this and sold out of this with the light tan. We just picked out that colour there. But actually for me, I would be working with the technical polycotton, I'd be working with the dark navy, and I'd be working with the blue pewter here. With this. Just stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. The leaf green, yeah, is of a similar tone, so that would work too. And also if you wanted to have a little play with your greys with that blue, there's your antique one there. They also look rather lovely. So actually a very, very versatile one, this one. You've got these beautiful birds through here, and I just love it. And of course, all of these feel, because they're art gallery fabrics, they're so cotton rich, and the fibres of the cotton are very, very long, fine strands because of the quality of them. When they're short, chunky ones, obviously it feels thicker fabric. So these feel beautifully fine, which means that you've got a really nice dense weave. I just love it. So it feels more like cotton lawn, but it's got such strength. It's incredible. So over here I would be, again, any of your navies and your blue pewter. We did match it with blue pewter. I made a bag out of that last week. Where did I put it? Did I take it to Cornwall with me? I might have done. And your greys, that's where I would be going with this. But of course, you know, blues and browns always look nice together as well. It's really up to you. Now, you see, I'm not normally a green person, but we did start buying in the greens because of this, because they look so lovely and earthy with these. So we've got the leaf green there. We've got, that's actually the mahogany. You've got the olive green, where, oh yeah, I like it with the olive green. But equally, try it with your browns. That's your antique colour. That brown and that green look great together. So all of these things, give it a good go. Or if you want to pick out, there is a little blue in there, so you could work with the blue pewter with that as well. And that was, when you get close up, you'd see that that is rather lovely too. Right, let's have a look at this one. All of these will be on the website. You can find them all there. I'd be going blue pewter. I'd be going with my blues for sure. But then equally, let's just bring in that green. That olive green, oh my goodness. And the leaf green working equally beautifully here. But if you want to go and put a contrast fabric with it, then of course your antique works really well, your browns work really well. Again, these were bought because they work so well with the waxes. That's why we bought them. And that's why they're on an offer today with the waxes, so that we got a chance to actually get these out and show these to you, because they haven't all had an airing. Again, here I'd be going olive green, I'd be going leaf green. Ooh. That was the chestnut, wasn't it? Quite like it, sort of picks up that colour. But equally, the navy looks great. These dark navy looks great as well. And the pewter picks out those lighter blues in there. So they would also work very well indeed. Sorry if it feels like I'm rushing through these. We've got quite a long demo today to get through. Right, this is your leaf green. I love these. And I would go with the polycotton, technical polycotton there. Just great. £15 a metre, 3 for 2. That is less than you would pay for a designer fabric on something that should have been £45 a metre. FYI, I'd go for a brown with that. I'd just go really, really, really... What one was this one? Oh, this is the dark chocolate. Oh no, the dark chocolate looks amazing. Where's that been hiding? That would have gone with so many of them. There's a woven pattern to that, which you can't really see, but it goes so beautifully with that one. Really beautifully with that one. And then for this one, I'd pick out any of those navies. Again, would be incredible. Love it, love it, love it. So there you go. They are the fabrics. Bit of a whistle stop tour today. I've used a bit of cork on my make today. You can make your handles out of fabric if you'd prefer. We've got bundles of pieces of cork with the denim. Check out the website because they're all there for you to find from there. But we will have a quick look at a few little optional extras that we do have for you. So you can get your ½ metre of denim, which is all you need today. I've used buttons. I've got black buttons, dark buttons, I've got light buttons, all the right size. They come in packs of 3. I've got the handmade tags with the limited edition. They work beautifully. And then, so you can get the denim with either some silver, and these are pre-cut to the lengths that you need your handles to be. You just have to cut your lengths off. We did this in the Natasha Makes Designs handle workshop. And so you know that you can get 2 sets of handles out of this strip. Done. Easy, easy, easy peasy. So you've got your dark grain, you've got your small grain, you've got your large grain, and you've got your silver sparkly one there. So pick which one you want with your denim. They are all loaded for you today. Let's get making. Crikey. It feels epic already today. It really does, doesn't it? Right, let's pop that bag to one side and let's get making. So, you're going to need a ½ metre of your denim. And before you start, you should really give this a little press. Let's give it a little press, shall we? I think it's just... I haven't got the steam on now. I'd give it a little steam. Yeah, see? Didn't turn the steam on this morning. That will do, that will do. Okay, so make the most of those deals. They're there for as long as those fabrics last. When they're gone, they're gone. We have had so many of you email us after we've finished with a bolt and go, can I have some more? We're like, no, we did what we did say. We've been very transparent about the waxes. I'm not forcing you to buy them. I'm just saying that if you email us in a couple of weeks and go, have you still got it? The answer is most likely no. The waxes have been our best-selling fabrics this year. I can tell you that now. Used to be Cave. This year it has been the waxes because nobody else does them. Certainly not at these prices. And not in the array of colour that we've had. But like I say, I was just lucky. It was right time, right conversation, and just being willing to take a risk. If you hated them, I don't know what we'd have done. I'd have had to stop Natasha Makes and just go and make dog coats for a living. Here we go. So, very, very easy to start off with. All you are going to do, as you just saw me do there, is just trim up your edges. And then on that centre fold, we're going to cut that then in half. There's no tricky measuring. I think this is tricky. And then, here we go. We're going to measure then down one side. Measure and mark 1/2 inch. There are lots of ways that you can do a faux flat fell. I know, the whole point of a flat fell is to have that reinforced with all the different layers. And if you do, there are ways that you can do it so that you don't go through all the layers, but it's like a faux flat fell really. It gives you the look but none of the strength. You're still only actually sewing through one layer. This is going to be such a strong seam. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you. I cheat. Of course I do. I'm going to bring out my quilter's wash away tape. Basically, on that line, we're going to fold our fabric over. So, I'm just going to, onto that line there, run a length of quilter's wash away tape, because if you're just starting out, if you are new to flat fell seams, trying to fold over a consistent 1/2 inch or 5/8 inch or whatever it is going to be super hard. It's not going to be fun, so we're not going to do it. We're going to do it my way, and we're going to, it's not cheating, it's aiding it. So then let's put our fabrics right sides together. Okay, and so all you'll do, I mean you can line it up on your mat so that you can see that that is 1/2 inch over there, and because you've trimmed everything, that should then sit at 1/2 inch overhang. So you're going to just fold that over and fold that onto the line, and that's going to be held in place with your quilter's wash away tape. If you want to do this without the tape, you can. It's not going to be as easy. But if you are someone that dressmakes on the regular and does seams like this all the time, then you might be laughing in my face, and that's fair enough, going, why would we do it that way? What are you doing, woman? Stop it. And now we're going to take this to the machine. You can see the overhang the other side there. So that's all nicely in place there. And we're going to stitch just on this side here. Okay. Now I've braved it with a contrast thread. I know. I know. Who would have thunk it? Why, oh why? But I have. We're going to be brave today. Really brave. So just stitch all the way down there. Okay, and then you're going to open this out, and you're just going to fold that over so that you're covering that raw edge. If you want to, you can give it a quick press, remove any plastic from underneath it. And give that a little press if you want, just to help it over. Did I bother? No. And then you're going to sew from the other side, making sure that that is underneath there, and you're going to top stitch down there. So my flappy bit is under there. Oh, I'm so articulate, aren't I? And I just sit my foot into there, and if you want to just hold it either side so that seam is held open, and you can. but I'm just letting my sewing machine do the job. There we go. And then, so we've got that sewn down there. And then from the other side, we go back on the other side. And we're now going to sew down, so this down this side. Now, I'm very happy to do that on this particular machine because I know that my bobbin is going to stitch exactly the same as my upper thread. If you don't have that confidence in your machine, then stitch it from the top and you can feel where the edge of this fold is and just don't go over that. So then what you have is your flat fell seam. I'm not going to lie, quite proud of myself for that. Because it's not a seam that I do regularly, it's one of those things that when I do it, I'm all proud of myself. Like a child, basically, giving myself a little gold star. And then what you will conveniently have is pretty much your 1/2 inch gap the other side. Okay, so again, you can draw that 1/2 inch marker down if you want. But we're going to do the same the other side. And this wasn't how this bag was going to go. It like that was going to be it, and it wasn't going to be like this. And it's one of those things that once you get designing, sometimes where you end up and where you started are just not the same. Just not the same. Not the same thing. Not the same thing. What you can do, if you wish, if you don't want to bother sticking any tape down, because you've got that guide now and we know where we're going, if you want to, you can just feed it into your machine like that. But do you know what? Belt and braces, people. I am going in with the tape, and then I know, excuse me, frog in my throat. Then I know that I am not going to wobble about and move anywhere. So down we go. I think this is going to be one of those makes that, because it took me so long to do this morning, because, you know, I started and then there was lots of discussion with Jane over how to do it, because changed my mind so many times. She was like, why don't you try this? Why don't you do, oh, you could do that. Which is lovely. Really lovely. However, it meant that it did take me a lot longer than I had actually planned this morning. Oh, and in between, obviously, feeding children, because they still want food. And then we're going to turn it through. Now this side obviously is going to be slightly different because you've already got kind of a curve going on because you've already got a tube, so just be careful that you don't, you're just going to have to keep rolling the other fabrics out of the way. but we're top stitching down on that seam. Hope you can see okay. But you do just want to make sure that they are sort of just separate, that seam is just separated. And you can see I'm just rolling this so that I've always got a straight bit to sew down. And all that does...
Gemma says, please, can you look at your messages?
Yes, I will. I'm just... They keep
In the zone.
flashing up and I just want to finish this.
It's looking lovely.
Let's see what she wants. So, we are part way through our flat felt. Gemma wants to tell me something. Bear with. Bear with. Better be important. Better be important. Tash! Sue is asking which one you said would be nice for a coat. You've got the olive green or you've got the antique. They're 6 ounce. I know that the one that you made for your daughter was a lighter weight one. So it's, I think you probably had the navy last time for her coat. When I was cutting it, I was like, I bet you this is the one that you used. So I would go with the 6 ounce if you want a lightweight coat. And the ones that we've got on the continuous is the olive and the antique. They would be the ones that I would recommend. The pewter obviously is absolutely stunning. There we go. Cynthia says, greetings, you get a pocket and you get a pocket and you get a pocket. Yes, love pockets. Pocket, pocket, pocket. Who's got a pocket? Natasha does. Sorry, that's where my mind went. That's all right. There we go. Was that everything? Was that everything, Gemma? Could have waited. Now, where was I? Where were we? Let's turn this back through and top stitch from the side that we can see where the edge is. And then that's both flat fell seams. Done. Oh, no. There we go. Again, you can sew this from the other side if you wish. You can part it like that if you want, but just make sure that you keep stopping and just moving the fabric out of the way, just to make sure that you're not sewing through the underside, because that's the sort of thing that I would do, and then realise that I'd sewn through the other side as well, which just... it's not the look. It's not the look that we want. Yeah, Gemma, it was sending me the messages, but I was trying really hard to concentrate. I get wobbly seams if I go and check my phone messages whilst I'm trying to sew. Okay, so we are going to centre these and just neaten off. I would do your flat fells sort of next to each other, not on top of each other, and just neaten off these ends. If you need to, where you've gone through all those layers, you can always go at it with a pair of scissors if you need to. So let's take that end off there. And it might be that you don't like this, seeing this bit, well then trim it off. I don't particularly mind it because it's denim. But if you want to get rid of it so you don't see it at all, then yeah, just trim off all of that as well. But just neatening up these ends. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 width of fabric strips of fabric. 2 width of fabric strips, yes. That does make sense, I think. I've now just got to decide which one to go with. Which one? They're all so pretty. Decisions. I'm going to go with this one. So, I'm just going to level this up. Make sure that is absolutely straight. Just so that you get an idea of what everything is going to look like. So these are going to be my binding strips. Again, all of the instructions, the dimensions, everything are in your instructions. All of your cutting and everything else are there. And then just on the end you're going to start with, trim off the selvage, fold that over, give a little press by what, 1/2 inch or so. And we're going to sew it round the top. Now, I would probably start it either at one side, although you don't want the bulk. So this seam is going to be down the middle, right? If you do that there, then when that folds over, you will also get that seam there, which I quite like. It means you've got all your seams in one place, but just to butt it to there. And then we're going to sew all the way around. 1/4 inch. Helps if I sew it on the right way. So this will then fold over and be our binding. Whee! So many things under here. Why is everything sounding so strange? I've got a button, I've got numerous pairs of scissors. Just clear the decks. Take a moment to just clear the decks. Like, what are all these things clanking away underneath my machine? Stuff. It's all stuff. Move it out of the way. You do not need it. So this is single edge binding, again inspired by Jane. Did such an incredible masterclass on binding for her Quilting with Jane, and that all stays up. So if you want to join in with Quilting with Jane, she's about to start a new quilt next month. You can join up. You have access to past quilts in there as well. For now, once we get going with the next one, then that will be just a course in itself. But oh my goodness. As we get to the end here, by the way, just trim that back. And then I just sew over where I was before. Brilliant. Yeah, Jane did such an amazing course. And her binding was phenomenal. So anybody that's ever been in any doubt about binding, they're not now, for sure. So just trim that. Again, press it over a little bit, just so you don't get the raw edges. But she just made binding so accessible. So this is a single single fold. It would be a double fold if it was like that and I was sewing it like that, but it's not. It's just going to be singly folded over. I now know this. It's all good. And so around we go again. 1/4 of an inch. And again, when you get back to close to where you started, just trim away. Just make sure it's before the end of that. Okay. Anybody else feel like they're just constantly moving stuff from one side? I had a little collapse over here as well. One side of their workbench to the other. Like, really, is that all I do? I proper clonked this with something earlier. I love it. I really love it. It's absolutely fabulous. If you don't have one of these yet, please grab one because they're great. They're really good. How many lids? I've got a pen somewhere without a lid. But it just means that everything is kind of to hand when you need it, rather than sitting underneath your sewing machine. I don't know where the lid is for that, and that hurt. Right, okay. Let's go again. So we're going to press this away then from the edge. Just go around, just press it away. And we'll do this both ends. So it's going to be a long show today, guys, because I went through those fabrics in depth, but I think it was worth doing. I really do. They were just so beautiful, weren't they? And again, you could be doing this out of the waxes. Make a stunning bag. Absolutely stunning bag. Let's flip those up. Press them away. Oh yeah, I did manage to catch myself there. Okay, so then when we turn this around the right way, there's lots of turning this through, this way, that way, this way, that way. But then it does sort of come together very quickly all of a sudden. So then what we're going to do over here, and again, you can press this if you want. But you'll turn it over in line with the edge of the denim and then turn it over again. So it goes over once, and so it goes over in line with the denim there. Fold it in half in line with the denim, and then fold it over again. And we're going to stitch that down. Okay. You can press this if you want to make it easier when you come to do this. but I am very aware this is already going to be quite a long show. What I did before actually was just press the starting bit so that I did actually have that nicely pressed, ready to go. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Bear with me, I'll be back. Because I did that thing of looking at my watch and then panicking about the time. And of course then you become all fingers and thumbs. And it's not that we actually have any time constraints here at all. Right. There we go. So just taking a moment to press it. Then by the time that you've pressed it, you've got your foot on it and it's all held there, then you are then ready to go. There. You don't have to start, by the way, on that doubled over seam. You don't have to. Dee 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 dee. So I tend to just sort of roll a length and then stitch it down, which you probably can't see because my shoulder's in the way. But in terms of kind of hassle-free binding, this is it. If you were really worried and concerned, then you could always roll it, fold it, and put it in place with your quarters wash away tape if you were worried. Okay, so we're going to do that the other end. So folding it against the seam, give it a little sort of finger press, and then just making sure then that that tucks over nicely. Okay, so now we've got this, which just looks like a jolly nice skirt. Hooray. But what we're going to do is put those middle bits together. Okay. And then fold it in half like so. Okay. And you're going to sew from that top seam there all the way down to the bottom there. Okay. Now, if it were me, I would start on it and then reverse off it, and you're just sort of top stitching down the side. And again the other side, line up those bound edges. Start with your foot on it, then go back off it. Oh no, is my bobbin gone? And then you just hear, yes, you just hear a little change in tone. And you go, ah, bobbin! Let's quickly change that. I mean, it wouldn't really be a show, would it, without a bobbin going at some point. Dee 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 dee. I don't use a denim needle, by the way, or anything like that. You can, but I haven't. Because I use 80s and 90s, and I always make sure that they are new and they are sharp. There isn't, but for me, there's not really the need of them. Bring it up. Right. Quickly rethread. Do you think there's a parallel universe where an organised me always has a spare bobbin sat by the side? Do you think that's a thing? Good, wouldn't it? Be impressive. I would be impressed with myself. Let's check that works. Yes, it does. Happy days. And let's get back to the business in hand, which is top stitching down the side of our bag. Now you can sew along the bottom. Jane and I had great debate over whether or not to. You are going to struggle to go through all those layers of denim. So I sewed up to the denim and then the up to the fold, and then the other side of the fold. I didn't even attempt to sew through the fold because that's just asking for a snap needle, quite frankly, and then just come at it from the other side, and then you'll stop at the same point. Okay, so then the next thing to do, we've sewn around, just check you've sewn through both sides. Yes, 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 we're all good. Excellent. If you want to box the bottom, then this is how you're going to do it. Get yourself a white chalky pen. You're going to go in through the middle, put your finger into that corner and match the seams top and bottom. Okay. Now if you lay your ruler, you've got a 45-degree line that will go through there, and you want to have your 1 inch on that seam, so you're basically measuring across 2 inches, an inch to the middle and then an inch again, and then take that to your machine, just sew across. We're going to leave that, we're not going to bother cutting that out or off or anything like that. If you want to, you can always just stitch it out the way there. If you want, it's going to sit up there pretty much anyway for your threads. And then let's do that the other side. So in through the middle pocket there. And then let's sew again. And we're going to turn it through the right way. And that's the fundamentals of your bag. So next is to honestly look at it. Is there a front or a back that you prefer to look at? Is your stitching more wobbly on one side than the other? Whew, doesn't really make much difference here. You can use a little bit of cork folded in half if you want. I am going to use like a tan coloured handmade limited edition tag to hide the end of my hairband. I raided my daughter's hairbands. We have like these soft sort of hairbands for her hair, and all you're going to do is squeeze one end, put that there, and pop your handmade tag centrally over the top, and then just stitch around it. That's going to be held in place by your quarters wash away tape, and then just sew around, and that sews that then in place. If you only want to sew top and bottom, then just sew top and bottom. That's absolutely fine too. If you want to go over that a couple of times, make sure that it stays, then you can. Keep all the other layers out the way. So that's sewn that tag in. I would still, because I love the look of it, there you go, see, whee, it's not going anywhere. I would still put my rivets in either side, but you can do that later on. I'm going to show you how to put the handles on in just one moment. So then we're going to pop our button on this side. And so that will then fold over all of your pockets. So we're like, well, where do you put? How do you? This was the only way that our little heads could think about doing it. So this is what we did. There you go. It's as simple as that. I would double up on your thread. yeah, you can see you need to pre-wash this denim. Make that the first thing that you do. If you want to put a colour catcher in with it, as long as you don't need to, as long as you don't put anything else in with it. If you put it in with anything else, please put a colour catcher in. But it is like that first time you wear those jeans, if you haven't washed them before you wear them, then that will just be a thing that happens. Decide whereabouts you want your button. I would suggest placing it in the middle of your seam there. And then just start to sew it in place. I like to do a little crisscross, but that's up to you. I have used like the thickest needle known to man, but never mind. And you can make yours really secure, obviously. I'm just trying to hurry a little bit here. Just get that button then in place. Dee. And then I tend to bury my threads in that seam when I'm done, like so. And that's my button then in place quite easily. Hooray! Let's make handles. So we've got our lovely handmade at the back, gorgeous. We've got our button at the front. We've got all the stuff going on. Now let's do these handles. So from your cork, let's cut ourselves. You can do this. You can do this with, and we know that you can do this with, because we did it on the Natasha Makes Designs Zoom workshops. You can do this with what do we do it with? You can do it with the tube maker. You know those green tools that we made the placemats with the other day? If you have one of those, then you can make it with that. And you can make all your fabric handles. Because you might want to. You might not want to do this out of cork. You might want to use your fabric and make fabric handles. They will also look rather fabulous. But we're going in with cork. We're keeping that natural earthy feel going here as we do so. So there are a few things that we're going to have to do here. Use a heat removable pen, and we're going to mark 1.5 inches across. Oh, no, sorry. Fold over by about 1/2 inch. I tend to just neaten it off a little bit there and sew across. So just do that on every end. And all we're doing when we do this is just making sure these ends are neat. You don't have to sort of cut diagonally if you don't want to, but for me it just neatens it. This is the joy of a heat erasable pen. If you do the wrong thing, you just get rid of it. It's magic, and you start again. We sell them in packs of 6, and they are rather fabulous. So we're going to measure from the end. I'm going to go again. 1.5 inches. You can make your handles as long as you want. I've gone for 24 inches, but you can make them as long as you like, or indeed as short as you like. It's entirely up to you. Now what I would say is flip these and measure again. This is the least expensive handle that you will ever make. Great, brilliant. You're going to sew, you're going to mark down the centre. To that 1.5 inch line. Do that on both. So it's just marking your centre point. Okay. Quarters wash away tape from that 1.5 inches to the 1.5 inches, top and bottom. Yeah, this works out at about, well, it can work out at less than £1 a strap, depending on what sort of cork you're using, which when you think you'd pay for a pair like this nearly £10, it does suddenly make it incredibly cost effective. You might have some cork scraps left over, or if not, then go for the bundle, because you'll get 2 sets of handles out of the cork that you've got. I'm going to take the tape off, fold that into the centre, and then fold the other to meet it. Okay, and then we're just going to fold that over, start from that 1.5 inch mark line that you drew, and you're just going to top stitch down the double folded edge. Okay, what do I mean by the double folded edge? It's really simple. You have got one side that is going to be one fold, because from here we fold it in half. So these 2 edges here fold, and you've got 2 folded edges. So you're going to sew 1/4 inch down that double folded edge. If you want to increase your stitch length because you're going through quite a few layers, then do, but as you can see, the machines do not mind this cork. I'm very careful about the cork that I buy for you, and it really is rather fabulous. And we're sewing all the way down to that other 1.5 inch mark that you made. You can make it, if you're doing longer handles, then I would leave it 2 inches rather than 1.5 inches, but it's up to you. But what you now have is this fabulous handle that you can then attach onto your bag. Now, you can sew that in, or you can put rivets in. So this is, again, this is entirely up to you. You can hand sew it, you can machine sew it. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. For me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to get my punch tool, and I'm going to punch right in the bottom middle there, making sure that I go through those folded layers. And that's just giving, the only reason that we do this, you don't have to fold under those edges, but the only reason that we do that with this bag is to just give a bit of extra strength on that handle when it either gets sewn in or riveted in. You can use Chicago screws, you can use smaller rivets, and again, this is why we trim it ever so slightly. Yeah, so you can use Chicago screws, you can use normal rivets. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so then what we're going to do is measure down 2.5 inches, and you'll find that that's sort of when it's central. Find the center point there. That's where I now want the end of my handle, the middle end of my handle to sit. And then you can put your pen marks through there, get rid of any residual cork. Please, please, please don't do as I did with mine and try and then clip through more than one layer of your denim. That is not the one. Right, let's talk. Let's talk. This is very, very, very important. I'm going to put 2 different size rivets in. One has got a much longer shank than the other, and I want you to see why that's not going to work. It's very easy when you look, crikey, I've got to go through some layers here of cork and denim and oh. No. Always go with the shortest shank you can get away with. Length does matter here. Right. Here's a little rivet masterclass for you. Right. Okay. So here are my rivets. Okay, ready to hammer in. This is the longer shanked one here. You see how much extra shank there is, and then this is the one that has the minimal amount of shank. When I hammer that, because look, here's the anatomy of your rivet. You've got a bendy bit here up the top that when you put that rivet, double cap rivet on, that sits in there. So when you hammer them together, that's just going to kind of be bashed into the top of your rivet. If there is too much, and there is too much there, that's not going to go. You're going to end up with a rivet top that's going to come off, or it's going to bend out sideways. It's not got anywhere to go. It can't help but go wrong. Whereas here, that rivet is nice and snug. That's going to need one little hammer, and that's going to be absolutely perfect. So we're going to take out this. So this is why I say to you, get our starter packs. Get our starter packs that have got 3 different lengths of shank in there, so that you've always got the right length. I was going to say the right length to play, the right length shank to play with. That sounds very wrong. As I said it, I realised. Let's not go there. So yeah, you can pop that in there, and then you can leave it at 2 if you want, but you will see the underside. So if you want to pop a 3rd in, I did on mine, then that's fine. But actually, what you're going to see, a bit of folded cork, it's not the end of the world. But if you want extra security, put another one in. This isn't a problem at all. So then let's come down again, go under my button, find that centre line. Quite gone all the way through. And again, through just one layer of denim, don't do it through lots. really cut that hole there. And then again, the nice thing about the double-ended rivets is that, double-capped rivets, sorry, is that you can put them in, pop the cap on, and then they are held in place. It's like basting. You can basically baste these on. You could always, and I did try this with my first bag, you can put the rivets on, and then if you want to, you can just sew across there as well if you want. If you want sort of belt and braces, it is entirely up to you. But there they are. We're then going to hammer those in. So curved side under there, curved side on top there. And then nothing distorts, nothing falls over, and you've got the right rivet for the job. If you want to, put Chicago screws in, they will look lovely. The thing with Chicago screws, right, is if you don't ever want them to come undone, because I said to Jane, oh, Chicago screw would look lovely. She said, oh no, I'd want these handles to stay and I wouldn't want to put in a Chicago screw. So because you can unscrew them, people think that you need to unscrew them. You don't. You can put a little dab of glue on them, little dab of super glue, and then they will never come undone. So they will always be, but they look great. They really do upgrade your bag. And you will do exactly the same with your handles on the other side of your bag. But there it is. That is our bag today. And of course you've got your lovely handmade and your tab that comes across. And when we look inside it, we have got one pocket, and they're big pockets. Like if you're studying or anything like that, you're going to get all your files and folders and stuff in here. You've got a middle pocket, and then you've got an end pocket. And if you want to, you can always put a snap in that centre pocket there to keep that one even more closed if you wish. But there you go, that is your Three Pocket Tote. Obviously with the handle on the other side. I know it's been a long one today. Thank you for bearing with me whilst I did these things. And whilst we took a real in-depth look at our cork and at all of our beautiful art gallery fabrics. Every single one of them goes so beautifully with the waxes and with the denim, which was why I bought them in the first place. So it seems only right to have them on the same show where you can absolutely get the ones you want. La la la. There we go. That is today's make. Thank you ever so much for watching. I haven't done perfect pairs yet because I completely forgot, if I'm honest. So just have a look on social media for those that are going to come up. Sorry. Although I've got lots prepared and they are beautiful. Join me Friday. You've got lots of hardware bits and bobs in your Friday deals. It's really beautiful. And then join me on Monday. What are we making on Monday? Oh, I don't know. Join me. I'll see you then. Take care. Have a lovely weekend.